How can you protect your sites? So, what should you be doing to protect your WordPress sites? Operating under the assumption that I'll be fine, I'm only running plugins built by reputable developers and use Cloudflare in front of my site, so it's super unlikely that something will happen, is something that may get you by and won't ever result in a problem on small brochure sites. But if we're talking about what we would call a money site, whatever that site may be for you, in short, you're working with customer data and it makes money that supports your livelihoods or the livelihoods of your clients. The approach of running reputable plugins and using Cloudflare, which realistically is the bare minimum for any site, simply won't cut it. To put it simply, if you want peace, prepare for war. Feeling peace of mind will give you a false sense of security, which we've seen leads some of the most security-conscious people to being attacked. Expect to be compromised, know exactly where the entry points are, and map your attack surface. Think of cybersecurity with a Swiss cheese model. Not the one you'll want for your raclette nights, but in the sense that security has multiple layers. You can never just have one method to keep you 100% safe. Each layer has flaws which, if aligned, will allow an incident to take place. Layer 1, protecting your network layer. This is the first layer your incoming traffic will hit. You should rely on a good network layer security tool like Cloudflare to help you mitigate DDoS attacks, filter out bot traffic, force SSL and TLS encryption, and ensure all traffic is only able to make requests over HTTPS. Cloudflare is a great tool for this, as it can do all of the above before traffic hits your origin server, which is what you want. Your server shouldn't have to process any requests originating from bot traffic. However, firewalls from services like Cloudflare, when security levels are raised, can block legitimate visitors from accessing your website. Layer 2, the server layer. You'll want to rely on WordPress hosting that provides the following services. 1. Server configuration and isolation. If you work with a hosting provider that does not properly isolate different servers they sell, shared hosting is frequently a culprit here. One server being attacked can also lead to the rest being compromised. Number 2, server-side malware scanning. Do not rely on any plugin-based malware scanners, as these are typically the first to be tampered with in an attack. Instead, get hosting with server-side scanning included. And number 3, regular backups. Layer number 3, the application layer. The application layer, your plugins, themes, and custom-built functionality, is the most important because it is also where the most frequent changes occur. Especially in WordPress plugins, many changes are untested, and this is also where access is most given to others, editors, authors, and other user roles. As such, the decisions you make to protect layer number 3 will have the biggest impact on the overall security of your website. Here's how to protect your application layer. Step number 1, choose the right WordPress stack. You should aim to choose your plugins and themes based on a range of things, including functionality. More plugins often means more complexity and more entry points for bad actors. Choose plugins that stick to their specific purpose and don't try to do everything at once. Number 2, code quality. Code that is well maintained and documented is less likely to include bugs and security vulnerabilities. Security practices. Plugins should have a security point of contact and should release patches without delay. If they're a part of a managed vulnerability disclosure program like PatchStacks, that's also a big plus. And reputation. Choose trusted developers who are active in providing support and are involved in community discussions. Step number 2. Don't just rely on plugin developers. Developers can't always issue an update in time, and you may not be at your computer the moment a vulnerability is discovered and starts getting exploited. This isn't just about their credibility or developers not being skilled enough. We also have to remember they're humans at the end of the day. As much as programmers may not seem like they are, they do have human tendencies. So, maintaining one plugin might not be the only thing on their plate when they wake up to a vulnerability report. To curb this problem, you can rely on maintenance and vulnerability reporting. Maintenance in the sense that you should update plugins as soon as possible and prioritize ones that are security fixes. And vulnerability management and mitigation reduces the ability for attackers to exploit your site with the help of virtual patches that are applied to your site automatically without changing the code or disrupting performance. Over 40% of websites that run on WordPress have at least one plugin vulnerability at this very moment. The application layer is the weakest link, and it's time to protect your site. Learn more and get started at patchstack.com. Threats are everywhere. Protect the weakest link. As soon as you connect your site to PatchStack, you'll start receiving notifications about vulnerabilities 48 hours before they're publicly disclosed. Plus, since we are the largest disclosure of vulnerabilities in WordPress, you significantly increase your ability to protect your sites. And when there's a high severity vulnerability, as a paying user on any plan, PatchStack will apply what's called a vPatch or virtual patch to prevent any attacks that exploit that specific vulnerability. You won't feel a performance impact as you do with other bloated security solutions that don't focus on the core security issue at hand. And you don't need to rush to update your plugins or change anything on your site to apply these patches. They're designed to give you more time to update the plugin, even if the developer doesn't immediately push an update, so you and your team can stick to your preferred day of the week to perform plugin updates on your schedule.